FORA.tv. The world is thinking.
So when the average American says, how can I help, or any American says, or anyone says, how can I help, we've come up with the 3 most effective tools we think every single one of you can use to help stop genocide. And the best part is that they rhyme. It's educate, advocate, and donate. So the education part is simple. If you can't stop a genocide, if you don't know about a genocide, you can't stop it. And so that's why World Affairs Council, Holocaust Museum, other organizations are out there raising awareness about this so no one can ever say, which they have said in the past with other genocides, I didn't take action because I didn't know about it. We never want to hear that excuse. So we started creating student chapters, and we've created over 1,000 student chapters in the United States and abroad. There's also specific things. We've got a website, we've got a speakers bureau, so that Holocaust or genocide survivors and other experts can speak about the issue to churches, synagogues, mosques, Rotary clubs, anyone who will who will take someone to speak about the issue. They're available. There's been several movies about the issue. Most recently, Darfur Now, which is on Amazon, follows 6 people who have done work in regards to Darfur, including the prosecutor from the International Criminal Courts, Don Cheadle and George Clooney, in case that excites any of you even more to watch it, and one of my colleagues who's working on divestment, which I'll get to. There's also a great book written by Don Cheadle and John Prendergast called Not on Our Watch that talks about what people are doing around the country in response to this genocide. I'm going to skip through this as an online action and get to the sweet spot on the baseball bat to hit a home run on abolishing genocide, and that is advocacy. How do we build the political will to stop genocide? And we've spent a lot of time thinking about this and talking to a lot of experts and looking at other groups, NRA, Focus on the Family, Move On, how do they do it? And so what we did was we've created one tool, and that is we've created the first report card for every member of Congress on how they've voted, how they've co-sponsored on legislation regarding Darfur. Have they been to Darfur? Have they held a town hall meeting in their own district about Darfur? Anything related to Darfur in the past 5 years, and gave them a letter grade, A through F, and created a website, Darfur Score, so anyone can go to this website to see what their member of Congress has earned and what they need to do to get a better grade. And people have flooded their members of Congress. We've got great stories, but I'll just tell you one, where Senator Cornyn from Texas had a D or an F for voting no or not voting on any Darfur bill. And Texans, from students to teachers to faith leaders to business executives, were emailing him and writing letters to the Houston Chronicle shaming Senator Cornyn for doing nothing on Darfur, that he called our office and said, I want to help write the most robust bill on Sudan to date. So we worked with his staff, and we wrote the Sudan Accountability and Divestment Acts. And in November, both houses of Congress passed the bill. And on December 31st, President Bush signed the bill into law. Why was this possible? Not because of me. I live in D.C. I have no member of Congress. It was because of people like you who are willing to get political about stopping genocide and pressure their public servants to do more than just talk about it. And we've had remarkable increase in grades from over 21 reps in 2006, 66 more representatives have increased their grades from Ds and Fs to Bs and up to As. In the Senate, we've also had from 10 in 2006 to now 7 this past year, increasing their grades. So they're feeling the heat already from Americans across the country pressuring them to get better grades. I just put up the scorecard for your congressional delegation. They're doing pretty darn good, pretty darn well. They could help lead by example with some of their colleagues who don't have as good grades. So that's something you guys should be proud of. Another big tool is targeted divestment, and the logic is it costs money to commit genocide. Sudanese government requires foreign direct investments to finance the genocide in Darfur. It does this with European and Asian oil companies, mostly oil and energy sector, to purchase the military hardware to exterminate a group of people. So we started doing a divestment campaign, learning the lessons from the divestment campaign against apartheid South Africa, during the apartheid regime, and learned the best practices and created a much more targeted surgical model. And started at the college level. We've now gotten 54 colleges to divest. And then we said, why stop here? So we started writing state legislation to get the states pension systems to divest from these companies that are financing this genocide. And our first was with all students from the UC system, successfully getting Governor Schwarzenegger to divest CalSTRS and CalPERS. And we hired Adam, who's in the green t-shirt. He grew a beard, which was a requirement, came to our office in DC, and we introduced this bill in as many other states around the country. And to date, New Hampshire has become the 27th state to pass targeted divestment legislation. And this, again, was possible because, for example, 3 high schoolers in Kansas used their spring break to get the Kansas legislator to divest. Or 2 women in Minnesota successfully got the state of Minnesota to divest. This isn't people who are well-connected, billionaires, or have Oprah Winfrey on their speed dial. These are, common people doing extraordinary things by getting political to stopping genocide. We sent one of our staff members to travel to initiate divestment campaigns across the world. So I think we've got 27 countries to date that are starting divestment campaigns. For those that who don't have the moral compass in the economic sector, we have done research with Bloomberg and shown that those peer companies that don't do business in Sudan are actually getting higher returns. So if you're not going to divest because of moral reasons, there's now concrete economic reasons for why investing in genocide won't get you high returns. And with this market, this should be good news to not invest in genocide. The last tool is the most exciting tool, and that's one that each and every one of you has on you right now, and that is your cell phone. We have created the anti-genocide hotline called 1-800-GENOCIDE. So I usually ask people to spend time dialing it in, but we're going to cut through that bit. If you dial 1-800-GENOCIDE, you're asked to enter your 5-digit zip code, and our system will then identify your representative, your senators, or give you the option to call the White House. Whatever option you pick, we will give you the specific action item that public official needs to take, and then we connect you for free to that office so that you can tell them specifically as a constituent what they can do. It takes 2 minutes or less. It's the 911 of stopping genocide, and we've had huge results from creating this. This was just compiled most recently. We've had now over 16,000 people call their public officials, and we've seen results where members of Congress are saying, please get people to stop calling me. I'll do whatever it takes. And we've created this website to make it easier for you to share with friends and family, 1-800-genocide.com, pretty easy to remember. The last tool is protection. And that is, we said, aid, good, important, necessary, but we want to focus on protection. So we recognize, as unfortunately is the case worldwide, peacekeeping missions are always under-resourced and underfunded. So we decided that any money we would raise, in addition to supporting our other efforts, would go towards supporting protection projects on the ground.